Welcome to the Human Resource Department's virtual open house for the Veterans Affairs St. Louis healthcare system. This department encompasses multiple areas with a vast number of responsibilities which we will briefly cover today. These positions include HR specialists, supervisors, assistants, and interns like me. All in all, we are going to cover what HR does for the VA St. Louis healthcare system. We have a great deal of information to cover, so we will be utilizing the digital form of a video. While the video format allows us to cover large chunks of information, we won't be able to pause at any time. So if you have a question that needs to be answered, please write a detailed post in the chat box below. We have a couple HR specialists ready to answer questions as they arise to the chat box. If you're watching this video after the initial airing, you can call us at 314-894-6620 to have your question answered. Thank you.
Hello, and welcome to the Human Resources Service Virtual Open House. My name is Jill Vaughn, and I am the Senior Strategic Business Partner for St. Louis, which means I'm liaison between the Medical Center and the VISN 15 HR, and I cover all things related to HR. Currently, there are 40 people assigned to St. Louis HR operations. The St. Louis operations include recruiting, staffing, the coding and processing of personnel actions, physician recruiting, benefits counseling and coding, employee and labor relations, PIV badging and suitability for federal employment, workers' compensation, performance, and some classification. Additional HR functions such as position management, human resources information, retirements, and military service deposits are performed by our VISN and workforce management colleagues. In this video, we're going to introduce you to the many things we do in human resources to help our employees so they can concentrate on taking care of our nation's heroes. Our presentation will walk you through the services we provide in HR, and along the way, you're going to meet some of our staff who will answer some of our most frequently asked questions. If you have questions, you can call us at 314-894-6620, or within the Medical Center, use extension 66620, and you can also use the Human Resources homepage. So with that, let's get this open house going.
The St. Louis Veteran Affairs healthcare system is a two-hospital system divided between the Jefferson Barracks and John Cochran divisions. The HR office at Jefferson Barracks location is found in Building 18 on the first floor, room H101. The John Cochran location is found on the third floor of the main medical building. To access the Human Resources office at the John Cochran location, take either the A or B elevator bank to the third floor. After that, head towards B303. It's easy to find as it's right across from the hospital canteen cafeteria. Now that you know where we are, we want to tell you who we are. We are a part of the Consolidated Human Resources Group for VISN 15. 40 employees of the VISN 15 office serve St. Louis. Our job is to recruit and retain the best employees for the St. Louis Veteran Affairs healthcare system. Like any other human resource department, we are dedicated to the servicing, hiring, administration, and badging of internal employees. Human Resources main services are divided between staffing, PIV, benefits and leave, employee relations and labor relations, and workers' compensation. We will detail each service's responsibilities along with the information regarding the use and access of such services. The largest service in human resources is staffing. 22 HR staffers make up the staffing roster. These staffers are a combination of HR assistants and HR specialists. Staffing handles multiple groups of tasks. The most well-known staffing role is job announcements and recruiting. HR staffers put out announcements for new positions that are then released to USA Jobs. Further, we recruit and host job fairs to bring in the best and brightest. These announcements and the new positions can be found on USA Jobs at usajobs.gov. Note, you can filter by open date to view the newest positions. The staffing office also coordinates with services to help set up and host job fairs in an effort to fill needed positions. The second undertaking HR staffers face is the qualifying and referring of applications and applicants. Here, the staffers review applications and measure qualifications in comparison with the required and desired experience and skills. The HR staffers then refer those qualified to the service. For any future job hunters, remember that your application must match the relevant experience required per the job description. As HR staffers, our main focus is to verify and qualify your experience. All applications that meet the required experience levels are then presented to the service in which the position is categorized. We have no say in who is chosen for the position. The service in which the position is under has sole control of the selection and interview process. Now to speak more on qualification in HR, may I introduce HR Staffing Supervisor Tiffany Shelton.
Hello, my name is Tiffany Shelton, and I am the Staffing Supervisor for the Vision 15 Recruitment and Placement Team assigned to St. Louis. We recruit for Title 38, which includes nurses and physicians, Hybrid Title 38, which includes technicians, therapists, advanced medical support assistants, Title 5, which includes administrative officer, program support assistants, and HR assistants. Over the past 3 years, we processed over 600 accession actions. Accessions meaning new hires and internal promotions. All of our positions are posted via USA Jobs, even internal promotions. We review applications to determine if the person applying for the position is qualified, and if so, we refer them to the selecting official for interview and selection. The question that we get from many of you is, why was I not qualified for the position that I applied for via USA Jobs? There may be a few reasons. Number one, did you read the job announcement in its entirety? Number two, did you list all of your relevant experience in your resume? And number three, did you upload the required documents to the job announcement? You want to make sure that your relevant experience is listed in your resume. HR specialists, they are not allowed to make assumptions, even if you're performing in a job similar to the position that you're applying for. An example of a required document would be your most recent SF50 or your transcript, if you're basing your experience off of education, or if you're using a combination of experience and education. Sometimes we get over 200 applicants for one position. When this happens, most likely the service will perform a best qualified panel to narrow down applicants who best qualify for the position for a manageable interview process. So you want to make sure your application shows that you are qualified for the position that you are applying to. Human Resource also sponsors job fairs for direct hire and non-competitive veterans. And we also work with veteran service organizations, state and community organizations to promote opportunities working with the VA St. Louis Medical Center.
Thank you, Tiffany, for that wonderful talk on qualifications and staffing. After an applicant is selected, the service then notifies HR of their decision, and we start the process of onboarding. This begins with the presentation of a tentative offer. This is usually sent via email and lists the tentative position and necessary steps to complete. It's integral that the chosen applicant follows the steps provided in the email, as their completion allows for the selected applicant to receive a firm offer. Any delays in the completion of these steps can slow the onboarding process. If you have difficulty following the steps provided or have an inquiry about the hiring process, you may contact the HR staffer who sent the original firm offer for questions. To speak more on onboarding in HR, may I introduce HR Assistant Caitlin Judson.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Judson, one of the Human Resource Assistants within the Vision 15 Human Resource Office that's located in St. Louis. My job is to help our applicants navigate through the onboarding process to become a VA employee. Once an applicant has been selected and given a tentative offer, my job is to help them schedule their fingerprints, physicals, and drug tests. Once we have all of this complete, the applicant is scheduled to go to new employee orientation. At the orientation, I will meet the employees, help them navigate through the many forms that we give them, and explain their benefit options. Then I do a lot of work in the background to make sure that all of their paperwork has been processed so they get paid in a timely manner and their benefits become effective. My job is to make sure the employees onboard as quickly as possible so that they can get started at their new job caring for veterans. Thank you.
Thank you, Caitlin, for that informative talk on onboarding. Now to speak on specialized recruiting, HR specialist Juan Rivera.
Hello, I'm Juan Rivera, the Vision 15 physician recruiter for the St. Louis Medical Center. Every day, our 319 full and part-time physicians, along with the 119 fee-basis physicians, ensure our veterans are receiving world-class care. It's my responsibility for the recruitment and retention of these providers. Together with the services, we work in harmony to fill the needs of the medical center. Let me break that down for you just a little bit more. When we have an opening for a physician, we conduct nationwide searches to find the best candidates. We utilize multiple tools to conduct these searches, including USA Job, announcements, job fairs, and advertising. But sometimes the best way to find a good candidate is you, the employee. If you know of a physician who you think would be a good fit for our mission, contact me. Give me a chance to ask them, why not the VA? Thank you for your time and for being a part of the team that cares for our veterans.
Thank you, Juan, for that detailed discussion on staffing and physician recruiting. Not only is the staffing office responsible for all the previously mentioned activities, but they also handle master record updates, setting up physicals, reassignments, separation packets, verifying selective service, coding name changes, and uniform allowances. It may feel overwhelming, and that's because it is. Our team is constantly multitasking and taking action to meet demands as they arise. Yet despite the demand, we stay steadfast in our belief of service as the highest quality standard. Our staffing office is here for you, and if you need help, we will try our best to assist you in the best way we can. Now to speak on the processing and coding process, HR Specialist Vernon Crawford.
Hello, St. Louis. My name is Vernon Crawford. I'm also a staffing supervisor for VA St. Louis. You heard a little from Tiffany Shelton about staffing's role in the recruitment process, but I also want to talk about a few other things that staffing is responsible for. For example, we process new employees in our system of record called HR Smart. Once you're an employee, we process your step increases, name changes, reassignments, promotions, changes to your position or duty station. We also handle uniform allowances, employee debt reduction program, which is EDRP, retention, recruitment, and relocation incentives as well. The job can be complex, and there are many factors in play when we code actions for employees. We have to make sure that all employees are coded properly in the system, or there can be an impact on future employment records. We work closely with our quality reviewers to make sure your record is accurate and complete. Our role in staffing is not only to hire you, but to monitor your record for the length of your VA career in St. Louis. Thank you.
Thank you, Vernon, for the insight into the processing and coding process. The next HR division is PIV, also known as Personnel Identity Verification, which is an office dedicated to the badging and security of U.S. access cards. The PIV office is made up of 6 specialists. Our PIV office. This is where the magic happens. To introduce the PIV office, may I present Patrick Lavin.
My name is Patrick Lavin. I am speaking to you today representing the John Cochran and Jefferson Barracks PIV offices. PIV office is where your fingerprints are taken, background investigations are initiated and adjudicated, as well as your ID badges for access and computer security are made. Together with the Office of Personnel Management and the Security and Investigations Center, we help make the VA a safe place to work and receive care for our nation's veterans. If you are seeing this video, you most likely have dealt with our office before. Whether you are an employee, contractor, volunteer, or student, we have at least taken your fingerprints. There is a process of suitability in order to be able to work here at the VA. From fingerprints to background investigations and determining who is qualified and eligible, we safeguard our workforce and the image of the VA as the #1 caregiver to veterans. Throughout your time at the VA, there are renewal investigations that are ran at higher level clearances for promotions, as an example, that we will assist in running on and with you. Along with security, the PIV office offers badge services. For example, if your card gets locked out of your computer and is not working with your access. We also provide protective gear for your badge so it's not prematurely deactivated. If you have any questions or if you have an issue getting an appointment, please call me at 314-891-4849.
Thanks, Patrick. Now to look at some slides. One of the first steps in becoming an employee is the act of fingerprinting. Initial fingerprinting is required as a part of the personnel background verification. During this process, we electronically collect fingerprints and then send those fingerprints to OPM for processing. Once someone is successfully fingerprinted and their background check passes, their account is generated. To get fingerprinted, one must visit one of the PIV offices located at Jefferson Barracks, Building 18, Room H101, or John Cochran's Main Medical Center, Room 303G. As they each are a part of their respective human resource office, the directions from the beginning of this video can be used as a guide if needed. For health and safety purposes, we have returned to an appointment-run system. Thus, we ask all employees to schedule appointments for fingerprinting. Remember, if you come in wishing to be fingerprinted, we still need you to provide one valid form of ID. Some examples of these are valid, non-expired, driver's licenses, passports, and military IDs. After your fingerprints are processed and your account has been successfully generated, your service can sponsor you to receive a USA Access card. During the badging process, we will verify, scan, and code your identification documents into the US Access system. After your identification documents pass the US Access system, we can then print out your badge. Once printed, we set up your pen and activate your badge. For the same reasons as mentioned earlier, we are still mandating the badging of employees by appointment. Prior to your appointment, confirm with your sponsor that you are sponsored. Once you are sponsored, attend your appointment with 2 valid forms of ID. These ID documents can either be 1 form of primary and 1 form of secondary, or 2 forms of primary IDs. The list of primary ID documents can be seen here. Remember, you can either bring in 2 primaries or 1 primary and 1 secondary. Remember, these documents must not be expired and must be the original document or a certified copy with seal. The list of secondary ID documents can be seen here. The most common secondary forms of ID are Social Security cards and birth certificates. Remember, these documents must not be expired and must be the original document or a certified copy with seal. For the sake of added security, your badge must also be adjudicated. This process requires that your eQuip information and background investigation information be the same. After verified by a PIV security officer, a badge that is adjudicated is ready for action. The third service we offer is badge diagnostics and support. This is a broad category of actions that encompasses multiple services. While we cannot modify your credentials directly, as this is done by your service, we verify your information in the Electronic Permissions Access System, otherwise known as EPAS. This verification is an important step that allows your card to receive permissions to secure applications. If an employee attends their appointment unsponsored, we will, along with the employee, reach out to their sponsor to fix profile errors and have them sponsored. Our office also works with IT to fix account errors. Lastly, we dedicate our office's practice to the national policy and regulations set in place by Homeland Security. As these policies update, we will work to coordinate with the national system. We provide diagnostics on badge problems. After determining which department is responsible for the card's problem, we then refer the employee to said department. The PIV office handles badge printing and pen creation. Police Services handles building and parking access. The IT Help Desk handles account issues. And your service provides the certificates and access to use secured programs. Please remember to treat your U.S. Access card with respect and avoid mishandling. This identification badge is very important to your work in the VA system, and it contains a great deal of information about you. Another division under HR is Benefits and Leave. Benefits and Leave's roster can be seen below. Benefits and Leave does many things. The first, of course, is the titular enrollment of benefits. We help employees enroll in health insurance, vision insurance, dental insurance, life insurance, and thrift saving plans. We also help submit said enrollment documents during open season, and we present on how to enroll during new employee orientation. You may change your current benefits and enroll in different plans during open season. When enrolling in benefits, it's important to recognize that each type of vet benefit has their own enrollment process. These forms can be filled out and submitted through MyPay, email, or in person. The benefit type along with their forms or procedures for enrollments are listed below. If you wish to email your forms, you may do so at the email address shown below. For a quick word on benefits, HR Specialist Wilbert Peebles.
Hi, I'm Will Peebles, and if you are a new employee or have a question on benefits, you'll probably talk to me at some point. Federal employees are offered a wide range of benefits, including multiple choices for health care, dental, vision, and life insurance. Every year, usually in part of November and December, the government offers open season to make changes to your federal benefits. This is your opportunity to make changes. These changes can be made through MyPay. If you have a qualifying life event outside of open season year, such as birth of a child turning 26, or loss of spouse, you can make changes to your benefits. Life insurance changes to increase your benefit can only be made through a qualifying life event. There's so much more I could cover, but in the interest of time, I'll stop here. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me at 314-652-4100, extension 63954. Thank you.
Thank you, Wilbert, for the information on open season. The second titular set of actions Benefits and Leave take is helping employees elect for leave. This includes FMLA, advanced leave, advanced sick leave, and paid parental leave. There are several types of leave as seen below, all of which can be elected into by logging into the Leave portal by the following link. Lastly, Benefits and Leave also serves as a support team to the employee to make sure the benefits they want are what they are getting. We do this by importing and loading documents into EOPF, helping submit requests for child care subsidies, help employees receive reasonable accommodations, and handle FEHB requests. Some other things we do for you is we review submitted documents to make sure said documents are completed. We code and load these documents into EOPF. Lastly, we handle FEHB requests and child care subsidies submissions. Reasonable accommodation. Our VISN HR office provides guidance and processing of reasonable accommodation requests. If you have a disability that prevents you from being able to perform all the functions of your job, submit your request or question to the following email, where one of our VISN local reasonable accommodation coordinators will contact you. The fifth service under HR is the Employee Relations and Labor Relations Office. The following is a roster of our ER/LR St. Louis staff. The Employee Relations and Labor Relations Office educates supervisors and employees as presenters on a variety of venues like services, investigations, and claims. A large portion of our services involve providing direction and education on the subject matter and what it entails. ERLR provides assistance with events like New Supervisor Academy and Remedial Training with Services, which oftentimes cover hot topics such as questions of leave. ERLR also presents information about HR at new employee orientation. ERLR has a very important duty of investigating. During this process, ERLR staffers investigate incidents, assist with information requests, drug test, code and upload into EOPF, code removal, data requests, and review codes. We provide guidance and support to the Medical Center on disciplinary actions. The Employee Relations and Labor Relations Office provides direction and oversight for employees on matters like services, investigations, grievances, terminations, and claims. Further, we oversee the drug testing program and ensure national compliance with the Drug-Free Workplace Act. To expand on that, may I introduce Tim Forneris, a specialist from ERLR. Tim is going to discuss the action behind a drug-free employment.
Hello, my name is Tim Forneris and I'm an HR specialist, and I just wanted to talk about something that affects a lot of the employees, and that is drug testing. First, there are some positions that allow for the VA to randomly drug test certain employees. And what that would be is basically you would not know that you were going to be tested, and that you would be randomly selected and tested, and obviously the results would come back. Secondly, there's also drug testing for an impaired employee, and that would be if the agency believed there was reasonable suspicion that an employee was impaired. And another issue that I just wanted to bring up that's really important to remember is that marijuana is still a prohibited controlled substance here at the VA, meaning that even if you live in Illinois or a state that allows for marijuana to be purchased and taken, that as a federal employee it is still prohibited, and that you would be subject to disciplinary action for any positive test of marijuana. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you, Tim, for that informative and important discussion of drug tests. We facilitate the Employee Performance Program. We provide technical review on all requested rewards, such as performance and special contribution awards. In this process, we help managers mediate awards for their employees. These awards include ECF, Performance Appraisal, and Proficiency Assessment Awards. In the same vein, we help managers write performance standards and handle performance issues. We also help them review performance appraisals and code awards. Lastly, we help managers handle written and oral counseling for grievances. And if these grievances aren't resolved through the process, we will also help managers handle arbitrations. Also, we help managers by complying with the national agreement, assisting management with grievances and arbitration, and assisting management in bargaining. Did you just receive an injury on the job during work hours? Wondering what to do next? Go to Workers' Comp. The 6th Division is Workers' Compensation, who provides information and assistance to injured workers and informs employees of the compensation system. The following is our roster for Workers' Compensation. In Workers' Compensation, a great deal of time is spent processing and facilitating claims. During this time, we gather information about reported on-the-job injuries and take action over safety hazards for accountability. We file medical documentation and forms to the Department of Labor. We also assist the employee in seeking medical care. The choice between VA or external medical care is left solely to the employee. If the employee chooses to seek external medical care, we reach out to the physicians outside the VA to gather medical documents. It should be noted that we only reach out to outside physicians when the employee seeks treatment from an external clinic rather than a VA facility. Steps for employees on starting a claim. If you are injured, first, notify your supervisor. Next, go to Employees Health, which will lead you to Workers' Compensation. We will send you the documentation to file your claim electronically using either your home or work email. If you were placed on light duty or transitional duty, either in your same area, another location, or in a different area until you are placed back to full duty, take note. This leads to the second largest set of actions, counseling on claims. After we see the CA-17 duty status report, we inform and counsel the employee on options and follow-up steps. After reporting the injury and filing the claim, employees should report to the workers' comp via phone or an in-person visit. The following sheet shows the necessary steps needed to be taken by the employee in order to file a claim. This is the continuation of this sheet. As you can see, the goal is always to restore the injured employee to regular duty. The last set of tasks workers' comp handles is reviewing duty assignments and claims. As seen in the previous flowchart, a recovering employee may be entitled to a modified duty and a review of their duty assignments. As workers' comp, we help with this process, and if the service cannot accommodate the employee, we will find an available position that matches the physical limitations of the employee. After the claim and proper paperwork are submitted, the employee will be notified of the modification to their tour of duty. As the employee will be working with a physical limitation, these modifications to their tour of duty may involve modified responsibilities, hours, and even a potential change in duty. Now that you've heard a little about the offices that encompass HR, let's talk about some common misconceptions. To begin, while we cover a large percentage of internal services, other departments exist to help you get the best specialized service and attention you deserve. The first of which is requests for disability. Any potential questions one may have over requests for disability should be directed to the Retirement Shared Service Office, otherwise known as RSSO. Secondly is retirements. Any potential questions one may have over retirements or the retirement process should be directed to the Retirement Shared Service Office, otherwise known as RSSO. Third is military buyback. Any potential questions one may have over the military buyback system or the process of buying back military time should be directed to the Retirement Shared Service Office, otherwise known as RSSO. Need to contact RSSO? The listed contacts are the best way to reach them. Remember, it's never too early to learn about retirement. Some more common misconceptions are over salary and salary dispute questions. This is handled by payroll and HR. Next is MyPay and questions about MyPay. This is once again handled through payroll. Lastly, we commonly get questions about taxes and W-2s. While we help you set up and cancel your benefits, once they are put in place, payroll has sole control of taxes and W-2s and would be the first place to call or email regarding W-2s and or taxes. Speaking of payroll, their contact information can be seen below. Please note that you should contact them in advance of any deadline to allow for processing. Our last side of common misconceptions covers a mixed bag of services we are often confused for. To be sponsored for badging, please reach out to your service, as your service's ad pack will be your sponsor. Any need or question of credentials should also be directed to your service, as they initiate the process of receiving access to secure applications such as EMS. Lastly, we often get confused for timekeepers and receive multiple questions concerning timekeeping. This is best handled by your timekeeper. Note, if you don't know who your timekeeper is, you can find out their name by going to VETAS. Both the Human Resources Office at Jefferson Barracks and John Cochran open at 8 a.m. and close at 4:30 p.m. To wrap up our presentation, we'd like to share some numbers with you. Last year, we processed over 3,000 e-pass requests. We hired and promoted almost 600 employees. We printed badges for 4,400 employees, contractors, volunteers, tenants, and courtesy requests combined. We held 10 job fairs. We reviewed thousands of job applications. We reviewed over 200 applications for one GS7 position, and we processed over 15,000 personnel actions. Not to mention, we fingerprinted 4,100 people. Now, if you do the math, that's about 41,000 fingers. Wow. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, please express them in the chat box, or one of our HR staffers will be able to respond. If you are watching this video after the initial airing, you can always call us at 314-894-6620 with any questions you have. Further, you can also call us at 314-652-4100, extension 66620, for any further questions as well. Thank you so much. Have a great day.